I have never in my life experienced anything like this before. It's not like a noise that could be explained by natural means. For about 6 months now, every night at exactly 3 a.m., I heard knocking from inside the wall. The first time it happened, I assumed that someone was trying to break into the house. My boyfriend and I live in a small cottage that is at least 100 years old. And I can tell you right now that the walls are extremely thin. So when we heard what sounded like someone knocking from just on the other side of the wall, naturally we were quite scared. We live in a fairly remote part of the countryside, so the chances of someone actually trying to break into our home in the middle of the night was fairly low. We listened intently, and then we started talking to each other in normal tones to see if whoever was on the other side of the wall would stop. It didn't. Then my boyfriend started shouting and making tons of noise, and the knocking stopped. I was pretty sure that it had all been in my head, just some trick of the old house settling or something. But then it happened again the very next night. This time I tried humming loudly to block out whatever noise might have been coming from outside, but the knocking continued. Then we started talking really loudly to each other, almost screaming at the top of our lungs to try and drown out whatever noise it was, and the knocking stopped. This happened every single night for a whole month, and then one night when the knocking started, my boyfriend got up and walked over to the wall where the noise seemed to be coming from and started knocking back. Whoever, whatever was on the other side of the wall knocked back 3 times. It sounded almost like a response. I thought, well, maybe if he knocks again, whoever it is will stop. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. The knocking continued all night long. One thing I should mention is that the only way into our cottage is through the front door. There are no back entrances or windows that someone could have possibly been trying to come in through. If it was an animal, I don't know what animal it could possibly be that could have been trying to get in through the front door in the middle of the night. Also, our door is made of solid oak and is almost a foot thick. It's really heavy and has a deadbolt on it. I'm pretty sure an animal couldn't have been trying to open it. It wasn't until 6 months after this all started that we finally figured out what it was. One day during the summer, we decided to get some new flooring, so we took up the old carpet in the living room and discovered that there was a large air vent underneath it that led to the crawl space under our house. The air vent had been covered by the carpet for who knows how many years, and we had no idea that it was even there. When we lifted up the old floorboards to get a better look at the air vent, we saw hundreds of little holes that were made by a small animal that had been chewing on the wood to make its way inside. That's why the knocking had stopped when we made a lot of noise. It was probably trying to get our attention so we would come and find it. And when my boyfriend started knocking back, it was probably trying to tell us that it was trapped and it wanted us to let it out. But why it had stopped coming after 6 months, I don't know. Maybe it found another way in or out. Maybe it died. I don't know. But I do know that the minute I hear any more knocking, I'm gonna check under the floorboards to see if that little critter is still there,